Well, good evening. I'm going to share a story as it relates to the UFO or UAP phenomena. Congress held a hearing, and that somehow has garnered a lot of attention, especially by those such as George Knapp and other ufologists who, over the years, have come out with very reliable reports. Of UFO sightings, UAP sightings. And I believe over the past few years, since very credible sightings by U.S. Navy pilots have come forward. And one thing that really brought it to the forefront was really a change in technology, where they had these advanced aircraft radars that were detecting unusual activity in the skies. So there have been reports, and it appears that these reports are increasing in volume, right? Which is one reason for the congressional hearing that they have held on this subject. So I have a personal story, and it's got nothing to do with UAP or UFO, but I believe they are related. So in 1985, my wife and I lost our first son. He was 2.5 years old, just about 2 years and 3 months old, and he passed away from leukemia. So the second night after he had passed away, we were just, we hadn't slept and just going through a very difficult time. We were in the Navy, and we had an apartment on base at NAS Alameda. And it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. We wake up to the tune of, a child's nursery rhyme. And what it was a book that we had got for our son Tim. And when you opened it, it would play music. So it had one of those springs, right? Well, the book had been closed and was on top of a TV cabinet in the living room. And for how long, I don't know, maybe a week or two, it had been up there. So when we were awakened, we both woke up hearing that tune. And we got out of bed and we walked into the living room, and atop the TV cabinet, the sound was coming. This is a tall TV cabinet, so I had to go up like this. I couldn't see it here. I had to go up like that. So I went up there and I pulled the book out, and it was closed, right? And music is coming from it. Okay. So we both knew, we both had the sense, the feeling that was our son. And his energy had stopped by to let us know he was okay. Because that was the feeling that we had. He's okay. All right. So there's only one of two ways that could have happened. There was a malfunction in the book. Yeah, don't think so. I mean, we probably had that book for a year or two, right? It had never happened before, just played when it was closed. So for it to play, you had to open it, a lever had to go up, and that would make the connection of the battery to play the song. Okay, so we kind of ruled that out, that it was just like a malfunction. So we ended up taking that book and placing that in his coffin. And we had a photo of all three of us in there as well. Very traumatic time, especially for my wife. It's very difficult. I could go on and on about just how terrible it was, but when you lose a loved one, it really does have a dramatic impact on you. So now, okay, what's that got to do with the UAP, UFO? Well, there is a fourth dimension out there, right? Now, I can't explain to you how our sun, the energy, of him, and keep in mind he's 2 years and 3 months old when he passed away, how his energy manifested itself in the way that it did. Okay. Now, if there's you could put a religious view to it, that his guardian angel allowed him to do that because it's something he wanted to do, or any number of ways, right? His energy was allowed to inform us that everything was okay. Now, coincidentally, I've never been when I was young, I was very religious, okay? I was deeply involved in the Baptist church and later Pentecostal and things like that. But at that particular time, I was not involved in going to church or anything like that. And my wife, being a Catholic, she was more involved in the faith than I was at that time. So here I am, basically a non-practicing whatever, because today I'm not really a Christian. I do not adopt any religious type of concepts, I guess you would say. The values are good, but the concepts are kind of off the wall, in my opinion. And my wife, although she has had a very strong Catholic upbringing and values and things I've never questioned, because that is her faith. So from that perspective, I should have never have been informed, right? But the fact that he decided to reveal that to both of us, was quite amazing. It left a very big impression on me. So now UAP, UFO. Well, there is a fourth dimension, I believe, that we do not understand, because we work within a three-dimension concept where we have physical laws and properties, and we have atoms and molecules, and we understand the physical world. And the physical world is very narrow in the broad scope of what is out there. So there are, I wouldn't say entities, but there is energy that operates within the fourth dimension. Now, our son revealed to us that he was there that night. I have no doubt about that. And these UFOs and UAPs have shown themselves in very similar ways. And they've interacted physically. So one story is by a commander in the Navy on the West Coast, where he observed the ocean was, there was a disturbance, and he did not see a UFO submerged, but there was a UFO on top. And the UFO kind of went up, and then the disturbance was there, and then the disturbance went away, suggesting to him that there was something there that was interacting with physical properties. And that's the thing. That's kind of the key point that I want to talk about. The fourth dimension is able to interact with the third dimensional world, with our atoms, our molecules, our matter. And that's very interesting to me, because we cannot interact with them on the same level, right? So as our son was able to, cause a book to sing, these other events are causing disturbances in the water and things like that. And it's very interesting to me. I've never seen a UFO or a UAP, but my reasoning tells me that they exist, and quite possibly because of what we experienced, my wife and I together. So I just wanted to share that. I believe the UFO UAP sightings, I believe there is something going on there, and but we do not understand it. So I'm not going to take any guesses as to what they are, but I would I think it's obvious that it's ultra dimensional, and they have figured out a way to interact with our dimension. So That's my observation, my story. This is a Cold War sailor out.